I've had a chance to chat with you when you were managing Toledo. What differences will it be between guiding a team such as the Mud Hens, where players were a step away from the majors, and here 2, 3, 4 steps, and for a lot of them, their first full year of professional ball?
It's going to take a little bit more patience, obviously, at this level here. With the idea that we just try to keep getting better, and by the middle of the year, and then by the end of the year, show progress. That we're becoming better prepared to play at the next level. Where Toledo was a little bit more of a finished product. They were very close to being in the big leagues. Maybe it was a little tweak here and there, where sometimes here it might be a whole, renovation.
How much of it, Larry, is it skills, baseball skills, and how much of it is professional skills about being a professional athlete?
I think it's you got to have both, and unless you're just a superstar, and I haven't seen any of those guys here. Those like a Miguel Cabrera. When you seen him in the Florida State League, he looked like a man playing against boys. But for most guys, I've always told the guys that the big leagues is made up of maybe 5 to 10% of those superstars like that, and then the other 90% of the guys that they have ability, but they play the game better mentally than the average guy. It separates sometimes, so what separates the guys at Toledo from a guy that's in the big leagues is just the way that he's able to handle adversity and come back the next day and not he can forget about 2 strikeouts yesterday and get the game-winning hit the next day, or make an error that costs you the game and come back the next day and play great defense. And it's a certain makeup that you got to have to play in front of 40,000 people day after day.
Off the field almost as important as well, besides not just on the field.
No doubt at this level here, you got to be a coach, and sometimes you got to be a dad, or a stepdad or whatever, and but looking forward to all of that, all those aspects, that goes into coaching at this level here is you have a lot of you can have a lot of influence on the guy going on.
Larry Parrish, I've asked this of all the managers that have gone through my 11 years here, and I'll ask this as you as well. How do you balance between developing a player for the parent club and trying to put a winning product on the field here at West Michigan?
Well, that's, I think that we're going to do our best to win every game that we can, but it can't be at the expense of an arm or our player getting hurt. So there's always that balance. There always even at AAA, there's that balance. There's times after they pitch 2 days in a row, they can't pitch the 3rd day. In the big leagues, they may pitch 10 days in a row. But just things in the minor leagues that you have to do. You try to protect the guys to give them a chance to make it to the big leagues, and but I also feel like learning to win is also part of development.
That's something that was put on a little bit with Matt Walbeck when he was guiding this team. He wanted this team not only to develop as the players on the field, but develop a winning attitude, and it seemed to carry over the next few years as they moved up the chain. Sort of, you sort of saw a little bit as there when you were in Toledo with some of the players that came up from West Michigan during his tenure.
Yeah, and he was, like any manager, though. I mean, what makes a good manager? Good players, and I was fortunate enough up at Toledo to have some of those good players come through there, and there's just no substitute for talent.
All right, talk a little bit about the talent, Larry Parrish. Obviously, we don't know much about these young men, and to a certain extent, maybe you don't, because you only had them for a few few games, a few practices, a few weeks of work down in Lakeland. What do you see as the quote-unquote potential of this particular squad? What things do you want to see from them, and what things are going to be challenged that you're going to have to try to work on with you and Mike Henneman and the rest of the staff?
Well, I think the overall depth of the pitching staff looks very good on paper. We've seen a lot of good arms down there in the spring, and that we're going to have here. But they're young and inexperienced, and they're going to have some games where they light it up out there, and you're thinking, wow. And then the next time they go out to pitch, it may look like they need a nail to nail down the plate because it's moving all over the place. And the same thing with position players. I mean, the Shots is a kid in center field that's got some talent, but he's 1 year out of high school. He's going to have some. He's going to look great one game, and he's going to have some games that are, it doesn't look as good, and the kid Vasquez out in left field, he looks, he reminds me a lot of Vic Davalillo, the way he swings the bat. He's a little bit different body type. Vic was short, and he's tall and slim.
But he had that eye. I mean, he had that great eye coordination.
Right, and that's what I see out of this kid here, and he can make contact, and he sprays the ball around, and and he's going to get bigger, with time. He's going to gain more strength. But we got some guys like that they're going to shine at times, but they're going to have some bumps too. And our job is to keep that downslide to a minimum and try to get it going back the other way again.